What is happening, guys? This is going to be a tutorial on how to do a really simple catch-all tray in Vectric software. And then we're going to send this over to the Onefinity Elite and cut it out. And I'm going to show you some little tricks and stuff. So if we go to create new file, my material thickness is 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm just going to use my stock material as 5x5. And then about 70% of the time I zero off of the spoil board, so I'm going to do machine bed, and then I usually set the home point on the material to the front left. So all that looks good just like that, and we're going to hit OK. And I'm going to do a catch-all tray out of a polygon, but this will work with any of these or even custom. Let's say you found some sort of cool pattern that you want to do. You could probably do that too for the tray. So we're not going to do any fonts or anything like that. We're just going to mill the tray out. But I'm going to go to Draw Polygon, and I'm going to do 2 5/8, and I'm just going to come over here to the center to where it highlights the crosshairs, and I'm going to click that. And I'll hit Close. Now we're going to go over to Offsets and Layouts, and I'm going to do an inward offset of 0.25. I take that back. Don't do this yet. Actually, it doesn't matter. I take that back. So we're going to do an offset of 0.25 inwards and double check to make sure delete original is unchecked. And we'll do that. Now we're going to go over here to the fillet tool, and we're going to do a 3/8 offset. And we're just going to go around all these hard corners and use this tool on them. And this will give us a nice round over. And there's the tray. So here's a couple tricks though I want to do. Is we're going to do an offset on this, and I'm going to go 0.01, and we're going to offset that. Actually, you know what? I lied. Let's delete that one, and let's go 0.02. Need to select the vector, and there we go. So this is going to be our roughing pocket. And I'm going to go over here. If you click toolpath, if you click this thumbtack, it will actually lock this bar here so it won't move on you. And so I'm going to take the pocketing toolpath. We're going to go 0.45 dock. I'm going to do the offset. I'm going to do conventional. I'm going to do a ramp in of 2. And let me check everything. We're at 200 inches per minute. We're on 14,000 RPM, 70% step over. Everything looks good. So I'm going to do a pocket allowance of 0.02, and we're going to hit calculate. And so the end mill is going to come in like this, and then it's going to go start plowing material out. That's what we want. So now I'm going to go to the pocket toolpath again, and I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to go 0.47. And I'm going to do a 0.25 inch ramp in, and I'm going to go over to raster, and I'm going to do a 90 degree on the raster. Pocket allowance, we'll go to 0.02 again, and all that looks good, and we'll hit, oh, I want to check something. This is the finishing toolpath. I want to do 150 inches per minute on this. And I want to do a 40% step over, and we'll hit OK and calculate that. So now we have 2 toolpaths here for this. And I need to double check this. Yeah, okay, it's going to work. And then we have this one here. It's going to come in. So let's go ahead and just preview both these toolpaths. It's going to do that, and then it's going to come in and clean it all up. I need to double check to make sure it is going to do it last pass. Okay. So then now what we're going to do is, since my stock material is 5 inches wide, I'm going to do a lead in. So normally you would do a ramp in, which is always something you want to do. But on this, since my material is 5 inches wide, I'm going to do a lead in, and I'm going to have the lead in start out here to where it's not even engaging material when it drops down to the first initial Z cut height. So we're going to close this. I'm going to select this vector, and I'm going to go to Profile. That's the step down I want. I'm going to go over to here. I'm going to select this Ginny bit. We're going to do 14,000 RPMs, 180 inches per minute, and we'll hit select. I'm going to do a separate last pass, and I'm going to set that separate last pass to a 0.625. And then I'm going to do a reverse direction. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do it that deep. My bad. I want to do this to 0.3. We'll just do 0.2 and match everything else. And then I'm going to have it do it on the reverse direction. We are going to add tabs here. I suggest 3D tabs. And I'm going to do one here, 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 and here, because I can have my material being held down here, here, and here, so it'll be held into place once it goes to actually cut it out. I'm not going to do a ramp in. I'm going to go over to lead ends, and we're going to do 45 lead end length too, and we'll call that good. And then I am going to set a last pass. So I'm going to set this to 3. I'm going to set this to 4. And then I'm going to set a last pass thickness, and I want this to be 0.0625, a 16th of an inch. I'm going to hit apply, and now we're going to be at 5 passes. And then I'm going to hit calculate. And so then we go ahead and preview what this is going to look like. And as you can see, it ramps in, or it leads in, and then cuts the part out. This will help with deflection on the sidewalls. And so the goal is, with doing it this way, is that you'll have very minimal sanding to do. And you can hog a ton of material out really, really quickly. And then you can come in with a finishing pass, and then you can come and just cut your part out and have a pretty flawless part with a hobbyist machine really pushing it. So I'm going to, and I don't necessarily recommend pushing the machine as hard as I do, and you probably won't be able to do this with a Makita. I would probably, if you're running a Makita router, I'd probably do this pocket in a few, probably like 3 or 4 pockets, 3 or 4 actual pass depths, but I don't know. You guys have to try to experiment and stuff. So with this being done, let's go ahead and go over to the Onefinity Elite and cut this thing out. If you guys enjoy this video, and this video has been helpful to you so far, please consider subscribing and actually liking this video. And if you guys have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them down in the comments down below. So let's go ahead and get to cutting this. Really fast, so we're about to cut out the catch-all tray that we drew in VCarve Pro, but I want to let you guys know that the design has completely changed. The same principles are behind it, but I decided to change to an arrowhead catch-all tray instead of doing the file we drew. But all of the same toolpaths were used and all of the same principles behind it, and if you follow this tutorial, you'll find out that you need very minimal sanding on any of the stuff that you make. So I know we're going to be using a Ginny bit for the roughing passes, and I know it's a compression bit, and the one downside to using a compression bit for actually doing any type of roughing or anything like that is that where the up shear meets the down shear, you can get a line. And the same thing goes for when you're cutting a ton of material out. If you're cutting like MDF, or you're cutting plywood or a solid piece of material in one pass with a compression bit, you normally get this small line right where those two meet, because you have one cutting downwards and you have one cutting upwards. And so there is that line that you can get on material. And compression bits aren't necessarily meant for roughing out material and all of those things. But I have found that the Ginny bit is one of the best end mills for these hobbyist machines that I've ever used. And the thing is just absolutely crazy good. Like, as you're going to see right now, it's going to be plunged into essentially a half-inch dock into solid maple at 14,000 RPMs at 200 inches per minute, and it's just going to annihilate this material. And then we're going to come with a finishing pass. We'll just watch the video. That's why you never put your hands by there. Well, that kind of stinks. My tabs didn't necessarily hold, and it's loose. Out. How to do everything that you need to do with one end mill. Now, obviously, there are some things you would like to do. Maybe you want to do a font or something in here, so you're going to have to change an end mill to do that. But let's say you wanted to come over here and do a chamfer on these edges. You'd have to change the end mill for that as too. But the Jenny bit is a very capable end mill, in my opinion. It's so gorgeous looking. Just look at it. Just look at it. So pretty. I don't even know what to say now.